Welcome back for another video. So Gameweek 2 is just wrapped up. Let us know in the comments how you got on this week. We're going to discuss everything we've learned this game week to take into Gameweek 3 and my transfer plans this week as I'm looking to make my first move of the season. I wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone that's installed the fplfocal app. The usage has been honestly insane, over 40,000 users in the first week and over 1 million hits. It's completely free with tons of FPL tools, so go install it. You can also use it in your browser if you go to fpl.page. And I haven't forgotten about the Android gang, I'm still waiting on Google and I'll let you know as soon as it's in the Play Store. So Brighton beat Man Utd 2-1, so what did we learn from this one? Well, first of all, as far as my team, Bruno's points dodging has been unbelievable the first 2 weeks. He's registered 2.02 expected goal involvement the first 2 games, only Haaland's higher. This one not his fault though, as he laid a ball off to Garnacho, and Xerxes lunged into the net, accidentally striking it with his knee, and therefore he was offside, and Bruno's assist not standing. Very unlucky for Garnacho owners as well. What was encouraging was João Pedro. He scored the winner for an 8-pointer with a couple of bonus points, but also his minutes, 81 minutes game week 1, 90 minutes game week 2. Welbeck came off a little bit earlier, and João Pedro was pushed up to the number 9 role. So I can see no strong argument to buy Welbeck over João Pedro, despite another Welbeck goal this week. João Pedro on paper may get more minutes, and he's on penalties. Ahmad scored a well-taken goal, and it was Rashford that was sacrificed for Garnacho when he came on. Mazraoui with another assist as well. So what do we do with Bruno then? Well, it's team dependent, but a player blanking with very good underlying numbers is infinitely better than a player who's blanking and nowhere near getting points. So despite the blanks, I think there's a case to be made for giving him a couple more game weeks, particularly Southampton game week 4. But Bruno owners, let us know in the comments what you're doing with him. Man City thrashed Ipswich 4-1, unsurprising result. Perhaps the surprise was Formel Johnson getting a quality assist, played a free ball through the defence to Smodic and he put it past Edison. It was quite unfortunate for those that took the chance on Lewis, who by the way later in the match rattled a shot off the crossbar, which was about 0.6 expected goals and he really should have buried it. It was the Haaland show, and well played if you did triple captain him. 477,000 managers went for it, and it was the 5th highest triple captaincy ever, and it was the highest ever in a single game week. We talked about it a lot in depth on the final FPL tips video, and why the single game week triple captain is more feasible this season. There's going to be more single game week opportunities if you want to go there now. They've got Fulham home game week 7, Southampton home game week 9, which is even better, and they've got Leicester home in game week 30 way later in the season, but by then we'll know what the mystery chip is, plus we'll have an idea of the double game weeks. Haaland's averaging a hat-trick every 9.7 games, which is absolutely absurd. Aguero's got the second best games per hat-trick record in the Premier League history, every 23 games. So Foden wasn't in the squad of illness. That was another segment we did have on the final FPL tips video where we basically said don't sell Son for Foden this week, though obviously Foden not making the squad was unforeseen. De Bruyne was outstanding, 1.46 expected goal involvement, which only Haaland could beat with 1.83 XGI. De Bruyne's created 23 big chances this calendar year, which is comfortably most in the league. Bruno's next with 13, 10 fewer. A few footballers triple captain Haaland this week, and Haaland's dad did as well, which prompted Haaland to post on Instagram after the game, "Did you triple captain me?" Is anyone else loving the FPL self-awareness from footballers this season? FPL's getting bigger and bigger every year. Spurs battered Everton 4-0, including a Son brace, punishing a mistake by Pickford who took too long, got dispossessed by Son, he had an open goal to score him. Romero scored off a corner, and Van der Ven got a ridiculous assist, running from the edge of his own box to the edge of Everton's box and feeding Son through for his second. Some great returns coming from the Spurs defenders in the opening 2, but it's not the right entry point now. They're away at Newcastle next and then home to Arsenal. Son played as the striker in Solanke's absence, we'll have to see if Solanke's back game week 3, and that brace does leave a predicament with the upcoming fixtures, because it's difficult fixtures but you've got to keep him after a brace really, though Everton do look shocking at the moment and he's not going to get as many chances in the next 2. If you've got an Everton defender or if you've got Pickford, it's a bit of a luxury move to sell him this week despite the bad form. At least this week it's going to be a home fixture to Bournemouth next, so unless your team's perfectly set up I'd give it a week. Fulham edged a 2-1 win over Leicester thanks to a brilliant goal from Smith Rowe and then later Iwobi. Robinson was the one that we had as a Kwanzaa replacement in the players to buy video, so well played if you picked him up for the 6-pointer. He got an assist and a bonus point. Muniz blanked again, who was a very popular Solanke replacement. Though in honesty, basically none of the popular replacements did well. Armstrong, Wood, Mateta, Vardy all blanking. Just João Pedro and Welbeck the ones that delivered. 68 minutes for Smith Rowe this time round after 63 the week before, 10-pointer for him. Hopefully we'll continue to see his minutes trend upwards and I think it's going to be a popular Nkunku replacement. Away Ipswich next. Huge result for Arsenal. Villa got the better of them last season, but this time round a clean sheet away at Villa Park. Raya with a 9-pointer, and he's the top scoring keeper in the game currently. Zinchenko, after a start in Game Week 1, benched Game Week 2, and it was Timber who got the nod. He did have a decent game. Had Timber been 5 mil, it might have been a risk worth considering, but I think for 5.5 mil, it's too expensive, and Calafiori did come on later in the game as well, so 3 players competing for 1 spot. Obviously Timber and Calafiori can play other positions, but I think left back is where Arteta's looking to use them at the moment. Trossard and Partey are the ones who scored, obviously in very few FPL teams, but Saka got an assist at least. Watkins missed 2 big chances, some serious points dodging here. If you had him, so unlucky not to come away with points. One of them was a brilliant recovery save from Raya to deny a header. 0.87 expected goals for Watkins. If I had him, I'd also be looking to hold him, as they've got Leicester, Everton, Wolves and Ipswich as their next 4. It feels like asking to trouble to sell now, so if you've got him, you just got to ride it out. Rodgers deserves a mention. He was Villa's best player, genuine option to consider for 5 mil, especially with Nkunku being benched for his last match. You could have him set and forget for the next 4 starting your team. 2 blanks obviously in the first 2 game weeks, but he's passing the eye test. His underlying numbers aren't bad and he's got the fixtures. Now Cash went off injured in the first half, so the last player to mention is Nedeljkovic. He's only 4 mil, great fixtures ahead, and Emery's remarked that centre back is Konsa's position when we saw Konsa in right back last season, so if Cash is out for a while he's one to look at. Wolves 2, Chelsea 6. Where do we even start with this one? Madueke with a hat-trick. All 3 assisted by Palmer, who also scored. So 20 points for Madueke, 17 for Palmer. And Cunha scored for Wolves, which was a Class 8 Nori assist. I'll talk a bit more about it in the transfer plans in a minute, but I'm still not sure about Nkunku to Madueke, going from one Chelsea 6.5 mil to another. Palmer back to his best though, and good fixtures for Chelsea, and well played if you did have him. And if you don't have Palmer, is he in your transfer plans for the near future? Personally, I'd look at Palmer and avoid the rest of the Chelsea attack and avoid the defence as well. Nkunku was benched as well and he came on in about the 83rd minute for a 1-point cameo. So that's it sealed for me, Nkunku out. Liverpool 2, Brentford 0. A goal from Diaz and Salah. Diaz and Jota both getting an assist as well. Liverpool were exceptional at times in this game, very fluid in attack. Tony not in the squad again, and without him, Mbeumo is someone pivotal to their attack. He's got the potential to be an absolute bargain in a few weeks' time when they've got better fixtures from Game Week 6, though you could move for him this week when they've got Southampton home and then a couple of tougher games. Robertson starting a left back again. Bit of an under the radar pick, he is 6 mil though, but he's sharing corner duties with Trent, getting in really dangerous positions in the box, and he actually had a big chance saved, or rather clattered off Flecken's face. I think I might just get Salah in Game Week 4 to save myself the stress of not owning him. And to be fair, when Haaland's got Arsenal and Newcastle away, he's got Bournemouth home and Wolves away. He was off at 83 minutes in the Brentford match for Elliott, and he did take a couple of bonus points for a 10-pointer. Jota and Diaz both continued to represent good value for about 5 mil cheaper than Salah, but obviously not captain material. Konate got the start ahead of Konsa, so that's the nail in the coffin there. So here's my team for Game Week 3. Valdemarson, Trent, Konsa, Pedro Porro, Nkunku, Saka, Eze, Smith-Rowe, Fernandes, Isak and Haaland. Henderson, Dunk, Quansah and Cannon on the bench. Valdemarson almost certainly doesn't play, but I may as well throw him in just in case he gets a start, given the much better fixture home to Southampton. The only risk here really is Flecken starting and also going off injured after 30 minutes, essentially meaning no clean sheet chance for Valdemarson. In all likelihood, Henderson auto subs on. So 2 free transfers, I've got nothing in the bank. Nkunku's benching makes him the most pressing issue in the team now. I really like Smith-Rowe as a replacement if you haven't got him. However, since I do, I'm looking at Villa's fixture run. The 2 players therefore I'm considering are Rodgers and Bailey. Although he's blanked in the opening 2 games, Rodgers has been immense and he's passing the eye test. His underlying numbers aren't that bad either. 4 chances created, including 1 big chance. He's taken 5 shots, 2 in the box. Now on paper, Rodgers makes the most sense because he frees up 1.5 mil. However, Bailey is tempting because whoever I pick might be a 3 game week pick before a wildcard. In Game Week 4, I might do Isak and Saka to João Pedro and Salah, and then possibly wildcard Game Week 6 to get the Arsenal players back in for the fixture swing. So I don't necessarily need the 1.5 mil, and therefore both are options. One thing that leans me towards Rodgers is he frees up enough money to sell Bruno for Salah in Game Week 4 instead, which means I could potentially have Saka, Salah and Haaland, but it would mean selling Bruno before he plays Southampton. The other player I have to mention is Madueke off the back of that hat-trick. It's easy to get hyped for a player after a massive haul, 20 points. He's not going to haul every week, and I'm trying to step back and consider if he's actually a good pick, better than Rodgers, and obviously no 1.5 mil in the bank, or alternatively Bailey. I don't hate the pick at all, but Maresca does have really good depth and attack. In the back of my head, I'm wondering if you're buying another player who's going to frequently come off early still. I'm interested to know if you think he's a trap or if it's worth going from one Chelsea player to another if you've got Nkunku. So that's the current plan. It'll probably be one of those two that comes in, and I'll keep the second free transfer for those potential moves in Gameweek 4 to get Salah in. What are your plans this week? Read every comment, so drop one below now. We're 99% there to 200,000 subscribers as well, so hit subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Lots more to come this week. See you soon for the next one.